everybody, my name's Ed Durbis. This is 93 Driving. Today we're driving a Porsche Macan S with a 3.0 liter V6 twin turbocharged intercooled with 24 valve and double overhead cam that produces 340 horsepower and 339 pounds of torque, and it'll get it from 0 to 60 in just 4.6 seconds and a quarter mile at 13.3 at 103 miles per hour. So let's go see what this Macan's got to offer. So let's get this show on the road and see what she's like. Alright, here we go, off on the Porsche Macan S with its 3.0 liter, 340 horsepower and 339 pounds of torque for a car that weighs a little over 4,300 pounds. And one of the things about this engine is that it shares the same configuration with the Audi Q5. Obviously, being from the same family, they do share that in common. This one obviously has been tweaked a little bit to give a little more hump since it is a Porsche. Yeah, I've been driving it for a little bit now, and one of the things that it is kind of sad, I don't know if you're catching it on the camera, but the sound of this car is pretty muted. You gun it, you floor it, you give it all the beans, you drop the hammer, whatever you want to call it, and you can just slightly hear the grumble from this engine. Maybe the engine itself is not loud enough, the exhaust is not loud enough, there's a lot of insulation here, but I mean, it does, the cabin does feel absolutely quiet. More so than some of the other cars that we've driven. Steering, you know, it's got a really nice weight to it. It's got a nice thick steering wheel. It's got a nice place for your thumbs to the 9 and 3 position. One of the other things that I'm going to talk about in my final thoughts, and I'll get to that in a little bit, is in regards to buttons. So, with all that being said, the layout's actually amazing. The instrument, you got this, the tachometer right in the middle, right in front, just like a Porsche should. One of the things that I really like is the start button, or the start key. It looks like a key, which is on the left hand, just like all Porsches, due to the fact that back in the early days when Porsche started racing in Le Mans, that gave the driver an advantage. Sorry about that, we had a small camera malfunction. So let's get down to our favorite places and do our little twisty and do our stop and go and see what she's like. So let's get down to location. Here we go, throttle down. Yeah, it had that little hint of turbo lag. I don't know if you caught that. Alright, let's drop the hammer one more time. I do have to say, it does stay planted, but you can tell that this is a very heavy car, and you can, it stays in gear, but you can tell that it's a heavy car, and it doesn't have enough power to get it up there. So I don't know. I'm questioning that 4.6060 because it sure doesn't feel fast. That's a tad bit disappointing, but it does feel really well planted. I gotta give it that. It does feel fantastic in that regards. And there was no, it just stayed flat during the whole thing. There was no dive in the back. So yeah, let's take it down to our twisty road and see what how she handles around there. See if it has that Porsche pedigree in her. Let's get down there. Here we go. Our very twisty road, 9 and 3. We got in sport. Let's see what the Macan's got to offer. Yeah, right off the bat, you can tell that this car, it's heavy, and it's you can feel it going around the turns. Steering wise, the steer's just, it's really sharp in the steering, and I do have a little bit of feedback coming back from it. Not a lot, but there's some there. Brakes, on the other hand, they don't give you a lot of information, and it does travel a little bit, so you gotta think a little bit ahead when you're coming, because it doesn't give you the confidence that you want to push it hard into a turn. But the steering is pretty good. I'm gonna go up the hill and see what she's got to offer. Obviously, it's got all-wheel drive, so perfectly staying flat, that's for sure, around there. Let's see what it does here. Yeah, it's tall, doesn't like it. We're not even pushing it. Yeah, it's a little disappointing, to be honest with you. I was expecting more from a Porsche. Alright, let's go check out our other twisty road and see how she handles there. Let's go. Alright, here we go. Let's see how she does on our other twisty road. Not bad, but she doesn't give you the confidence that you want, that I've gotten from the AMGs that I've tested, SUV, comparing SUVs. So yeah, this doesn't, it feels planted, but it doesn't go around this bend. Yeah, you can feel that it's heavy in top and that it's tall. All right, let's head back and do our final thoughts and see what we think of the Porsche Macan S. My final thoughts with the Porsche Macan S. First of it, let's just drop the hammer one more time. It's quick, but it's not lightning quick. You can hear the engines trying to get it up there because of the weight. It is heavy, like I said earlier in the intro. Be completely frank, a little bit disappointing, being that it's a Porsche. I was expecting more from it. You know, if you're driving along here, cruising at normal speeds, it handles perfectly well. It's very planted, it feels good, but once you start taking it around twisties, you know, you can tell that it's heavy, you can tell that it's tall, and you know, the lack of feedback coming from the brakes, and you got to go long on the pedal for it to actually bite. You know, it's not what you would expect or from a sporty SUV. And the other thing that is really disappointing is the exhaust note. There's actually barely any. There's, yeah, a little bit of grumble that you can hear in the background, but you know, if you have the radio on, or you're sitting here talking to somebody, you have your kids in the back, your friends in the back, you wouldn't be able to hear the engine note. But you know, with all that being said, you know, this is a 2015 Porsche. So it is the first, let's see how it feels here. Yeah, it holds well, but then you start feeling the weight and the height, and it doesn't give you the confidence. Kind of disappointing, but I don't need to gripe on that. You know, the engine there, yeah, as I was mentioning, you know, if you had all those that scenario, you wouldn't be able to hear the exhaust, and that's kind of disappointing coming out of our Porsche. Other than that, everything is fantastic. Quality feels really good. The suspension feels good, doesn't really beat you up. It feels good. Okay, everybody's trying to get off. All right, let's go. All right, here we go. Give a little gas. Get out of the way. All right. So, you know, it's quality-wise, yeah, it feels good. It feels solid. The only thing is, like other Porsches that I've been in lately, it is button galore. There's a button for everything that you need to accomplish. I mean, I don't, it looks kind of cool, but at the same token, it's like, there's so many buttons. You have to know exactly what button does, and I figure after, you know, in this car for a while, yeah. Gas, yes. This, it is a thirsty car. So yeah, you need to ask me. This is not for you. As I've mentioned all the other cars that I've driven, you gotta ask about gas. Not for you. So otherwise, you know, it's roomy. It's got plenty of space in the back to carry stuff. Got plenty of room in the back to carry, like I said and mentioned earlier, friends, family, kids, all that. But at a price point, it's pretty expensive for what it gives you. And if I would think that the best route to go is to go with a Macan Turbo, but that really just puts it at the price point of the Cayenne, a pretty nice Cayenne. And you know, back in that time, the V8s were still pretty strong out there. So I would depending on the price point, I would probably go with the turbo, just because you need that extra power to give you the satisfaction. You're not going to be able to fix the fact that it's tall and heavy, but those are my thoughts. It's a wonderful car, feels great. Yeah. So with all that great things being said, I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Very much thanks to JT over at Mercedes of Arlington, and a huge thanks to all the new subscribers. If you haven't subscribed yet, do subscribe. Share the video. Thumbs up. Notification bell. Turn that on so you know when the next video is going on. And comment. Any comment does help the video. And I can't wait to see everybody in the next video very, very soon. Until then, bye.